The purpose of this video is to address questions from registrants and former registrants regarding the process of reinstatement. It will also address CCP requirements for reinstatement within 3 years. You'll notice that the CDBC has developed Q14 of the registration frequently asked questions. To address this previously, it talks a little bit about options for registration renewal if you're planning to go on a leave. Herein you can see that you're able to renew your full registration March 1st to 31st yearly while satisfying these 4 bullet points. You may also register as non-practicing between March 1st and 31st yearly. This option is available to full registrants only, and there are several bullet points here to address this. The third option is the one that is of interest for this video today, and it is regarding resigning from the CDBC with the potential plan to reinstate within 3 years. This will be of particular relevance for former registrants who have resigned and intend to reinstate, and also current registrants who plan to resign March 1st to 31st this year with a plan to reinstate within 3 years. If you plan to resign from the CDBC March 1st to 31st of this year, you do not need to complete your CCP, JED, or criminal records check for this option. You will become inactive on the public register and have inactive status with the CDBC. You will not receive any monthly updates nor other communications from the CDBC. If you wish to reinstate within 3 years, you should initiate this process at least 1 month before you plan to return to work. You can reach out to info@collegeofdietitiansbc.org to do so. If you will plan to resign from the CDBC March 1st to 31st this year, log into your account and select Not Renewing. We have also developed a fairly new Q&A in Q16 to address the questions registrants and former registrants have about the application process with regards to the CCP requirement. If you are reinstating or plan to resign with a plan to reinstate, this information will be useful for you. You need to complete your CCP as part of your reinstatement process before you can start your employment. So please have a look at Q16. The first aspect of a reinstatement CCP is to address why is this a requirement. The CDBC has a policy called the CCP requirement for reinstatement within 3 years policy, requiring an applicant who is reinstating to complete a CCP. The purpose of this is to critically think about and demonstrate how you remained competent during your time off, or how you intend to achieve competence in order to practice safely and ethically upon your return to work. Many applicants have sent us questions asking about a CCP report timeline. They want to know what kind of content to put in their CCP. Should they be looking back at the time they had off, or should they look forward with a plan to look into goals they plan to set for themselves as they return to work? The answer is, it depends on your experience when you were resigned. If you've been able to complete some learning activities while you were resigned, the means of which satisfied a dietetic-related goal, you can report on these retrospectively. This would indicate that you kept up your learning and retained your competence during your leave. The example here includes that you went on a maternity or other type of leave, and you continue to review meeting minutes from the dietitian's meeting held at your place of employment, or you completed some literature reviews to keep up to date on some publications and best practice in your area even when you weren't working. It includes any activities you used and you learned about in order to keep up your skill and competence. Of note, it is important to reiterate that while you are resigned, you are not entitled to practice dietetics. If you are not able to do any learning during your time off, you will be looking forward. You'll make goals that you plan to achieve upon your return to work. The examples included here refer to on-the-job training, refresher, planned job shadowing, a completion of case studies, or consultation with colleagues in the area of practice you are in. It can also involve a review of best practice, guidelines, and policies that have been updated during your absence. It is really important to note here that if you intend to practice with restricted activities upon your return to work, that your reinstatement CCP addresses these in the goal. For example, if you plan to practice enteral nutrition and need registration with restricted activities A and or C, you need an enteral nutrition related goal. Similarly, if you plan to practice with restricted activity B, parenteral nutrition, you will need to have a goal related to parenteral nutrition. I have included an example here for timeline. Let's say that it is now February 2022 and you resigned on April 1st of 2021. You are currently resigned with an intent to reinstate for April 1st, 2022. Let's say that you have undertaken some activities during your resignation that you can put towards your goals in order to satisfy your goals for your reinstatement CCP. You can use these activities you undertook in order to report on the goals that you achieved or plan to achieve in your 2022 CCP. If you are not able to undertake any learning at all, you will be looking forward to the following year. For example, what type of training or learning will you undertake as you return to work that will ensure your competence to practice safely and ethically? The example here describes resigning as of April 1st, 2021, and later in that year, determining you wish to reinstate. You would then proceed to log in to initiate your application for reinstatement. You would have access to your 2022 CCP in mid-year of 2021. You complete this and have it assessed. Then you are reinstated. As you approach renewal for March 1st to 31st of 2022, you can log into Skillshare and see that your 2022 CCP is in fact populated with the content you put there in this mid-year of 2021. You can add to it and revise it. And on March 1st, starting March 1st till March 31st, you can submit the CCP and proceed to renewal. In this way, you are reporting on potentially a partial year of learning activities, and this is completely valid. It also indicates that your goals can either be very small, or if you have a goal that you have not achieved by the time it is time to submit your CCP, you can carry your CCP goals from one year to another. If we take this coming CCP submission as an example, as of March 31st, 2022, your 2022 CCP will be closed to editing because you will have submitted it. If you wish to carry goals from your 2022 CCP into 2023 on April 1st of 2022, you can log into Skillshare, select Professional Development Report, scroll down and click on Start Reporting. On the Learning Report page, you'll see a drop-down list of years. You can select the 2022 CCP, and you will note that it is closed for editing. You select the report you want to copy, and you click on it. Use the printer icon at the top of the Learning Report page and click to print it into a PDF. You can thereby see any content you included in your 2022 CCP, and you can copy and paste it into the repopulation of your 2023 CCP. Of note, your 2023 CCP will proceed as any other CCP would, in that you first must complete the self-assessment, selecting the same standard and indicator of practice as you had in 2022 CCP, and then you can copy and paste the wording of your goal from one CCP into the next one. If you need a refresher on exactly how to complete the CCP and what elements are included in it, you're encouraged to go to the CCP section of the website. Here you will find a Word version of everything that you require in order to complete your CCP. If a video suits you better, you can select the step-by-step CCP from start to finish. It walks through in about 25 minutes from start to finish 3 goals, learning activities, and learning outcomes, and it will demonstrate the format to you if you need a refresher. It may also be useful for you to have a look at this webinar. Even if you're not going to be registered with restricted activities, this webinar may provide you with some valuable tips and tricks in order to complete your CCP. This page also contains a lot of frequently asked questions about the CCP that you can review during the process of completing your CCP. If you have any questions at all, you are encouraged to reach out to info@collegeofdietitiansbc.org.